So, welcome to class once again. So, today we are doing different types of textile printing methods. Textile printing methods. So, there are so many methods or types of textile printing. So, these are the methods. Okay, if I ask you to go and print something for me, I haven't specified what method you should use. All I am expecting from you is to print something for me. Whichever way you use to print it is not my problem. It is the outcome I want. So whether you are using fabric print and then fabric paste and using the screen printing method to print, or you are using digital method to print, whatever process you are using, all I want is a printed product. But with the printing methods, we have different types. So let's look at the types. The first one we'll talk about is the screen printing. A lot of people know more, or that was the type manual type that we knew. Yes. So let's talk about screen printing. We'll be getting there. So the screen printing involves the use of a stencil or screen to apply ink on the fabric. We all know how the screen looks like. I have pictures, so we'll have a picture of it. So let me just move to the picture, then I can talk more. So this is an image of a screen. You can see it has a frame. Usually, the frame is wooden. We've seen a screen before, right? There's some up there too, so you can come and have a look at it. And your screen has a stretched mesh over it. It's a silk mesh, and it is stapled. You can even create the screen yourself. But there are also already made empty screens you can buy and then shoot your designs on it. So you realize that the person is trying to print an animal. This animal looks like what? It looks like a tiger. Yes. So the person has an image of a tiger that has been shot onto the screen. And the person is printing with a squeegee. This is a squeegee. It's printing with a squeegee. Now, the part that has the image of the tiger is open. It's not blocked. The other areas are negative. They are blocked with chemicals that have been used during shooting. Okay, so the color or the printing paste does not penetrate through those areas. It only penetrates where the areas are positive or the motifs are open. The areas of the motifs are open. That's the only place the fabric paint penetrates through. We have videos that we watch, though we have probably seen or have an idea of how screen printing is done or looks like. Okay, right. So that is screen printing, and we'll be doing the practical version ourselves in this class. Now, another printing method is digital printing. Digital, digital. Once we hear digital, we know we are talking about computer. So, digital printing uses a computer controlled printer to directly print the design onto the fabric. So, over here, we have a machine. I have the picture there. We have a machine that prints your images on the product for you. It could be a fabric, as in the second picture, and it could be on a t-shirt like we have been seeing. Mind you, you can also use screen to print on t-shirts or on fabric. But over here, we are doing it's computerized. So the color is injected into the jets of the computer, and then the command is issued, and then the fabric or whatever design is supposed to be printed, probably on a t-shirt or a fabric is printed. It could also be printed on a hat. Any textile product can have prints. In our last lesson, I differentiated between what a fabric is and what textile product is. True or false? Good. So those who haven't watched my previous video, please watch it and then you will understand from there. All right. So aside that, the design, the design can also be created on the computer digitally. So and you add color and everything, and then you issue the command from the computer. If you go to our local fabric printing houses here in Ghana, GTP is an example at Tema. We have the textile design department where they only design they design the fabrics on computer. All right, and then they do the additions of the colors, and from that department they send it to the printing department and they'll continue from there. But before the computer designs, if you have an idea, what do? You have an idea, you want to print something, or you want to create a new fabric, and you have an idea, a picture in your mind, how you want the fabric to look like. Good. So the sketching part, you never skip it. Okay? We never skip the sketching part. So you never skip the sketching part. You are definitely going to sketch on paper, like what we did in our last this thing class. You sketch your design on paper. You do the additions of the colors like the way you were thinking. If the colors blend well, you use your color scheme, and then you select colors. Make sure your colors are blending and working together. Then you can transfer that design onto the computer, because now you are sure that this is what you want. At that stage, if there are any mistakes, you might have corrected it and changed your mind if the idea you thought was going to work, it was not actually going to work. So you make your corrections at that stage before you move to the computer, and then you put your designs there. Then from there you can add your colors. When I say add colors, you see when you design on the computer, just the computer, you can add colors to it. That's what I mean. But when we are printing, there are colors you buy, pastes you buy per the print type of printer you are using. Okay, and then you inject it into the color system of the printer, and then it will print your designs for you, because you issue the command of where each color should be. Are we okay? All right, so that is the digital printing. So the next printing method is block printing, like you mentioned earlier on. And we know what block printing is. What is block printing? Talk loudly, because we want to hear you.
Design a craft a wood. But sometimes for the site you can use yarn. Yes. When the design is carved on it, you just put it in the ink and then you stamp it in the
Good.
Sometimes you can have
Speak loudly.
sometimes you can design letters and then fold and then dab on the letters.
Okay, so block printing, first of all, means that you need to create a block. We are not talking about cement block over here. So there are so many ways to create blocks. You can even use foam. You see those cube foams that they have been selling around, sometimes roadside, sometimes in shops. You can use that. She mentioned yam, yes, but you can also carve on wood. When you have a motif, you transfer your motif or your design on whatever plane you want to carve on. Maybe wood, maybe foam, for example. So you carve out those areas you don't need so that the areas that you need will stand out. And then you can dip that into your fabric paste or printing paste, and then you print on your shirt or your fabric or the textile product you want to print on. However, it is difficult to do a large scale printing with block printing, especially when it is manual. You are going to use your own hands to be doing that one printing. What if you are printing about 6 yards of fabric? How will you
We use a
finish early? The word is early.
we use a digital printing method.
Yes, but let's still talk about block printing. So assuming you are doing that and you have 6 years of fabric, when will you finish? Because even during printing, you have to make sure that you are printing in a straight manner. So you do a lot of marking before you put in your blocks on the fabric to print. Do you understand? So it is possible, but especially when you are doing it manually, manpower. Okay, yeah. So the next one, so the next printing method, all right, so this is the block printing, like I've explained, we all know. So look at the way the person is printing one by one by one by one by one in line. Look at this one, for example. This one is even close. The whole space is filled. So assuming you are printing about 6 years of fabric, I imagine the amount of work you are going to do before ending. So we have roller printing. Roller printing. Let's look at the picture. You can see all these cylindrical rollers. Okay, they are rollers. So it is also called cylinder printing or machine printing. It's a method of applying a colored pattern to cloth invented by Thomas Bell of Scotland in 1783. So in this roller printing, a separate dye paste, they are talking about the paste that will be used to print the fabric. For each color is applied to the fabric from a metal roller that is intal glue engraved according to the design. The technique can be used with almost any textile fabric. Please look at the rollers. The rollers carry the designs, the engraved designs. Let's look at something like a sheet of paper. You have your designs on it, or stencil, for example. Okay, when you have a stencil, you have your designs on it. You've drawn your designs on the pencil, you have cut out your designs, and you have your designs there. So the same way with the rollers, the designs are rolled onto the rollers, and then there is color. Look at this side. Have you seen the pipes here? Yes, colors are introduced into each roller because this roller one, has something to print. Maybe it is going to print a design in red. Then roller two is supposed to fill in blue of a certain design. So just like you have your screen, with the screen printing, the manual process with the screen printing, if you are going to use three colors, it means that you are going to have three separate screens for that printing. So the same thing happens with the rollers here. If your colors are 10 and the screen print, you know that you're going to have 10 screens. So the rollers can help in printing complicated designs or designs that have multiple or more colors. So if this prints one and this prints in another color, once the belt is moving, see, this is the cloth. Okay, it's not revolving belt. There's a name for it. So the fabric is flat under the rollers, and then the belt is moving. So whilst the belt moves, if it gets to the first roller, whatever the first roller is supposed to print will print, and it will keep moving, and the other rollers will be rolling and be printing. So the final part of the fabric, once the final part shows, you see that all the rollers have printed their motifs and then their colors, and then you get your final fabric. Okay, that is for the roller printing. Now, someone to ask, so is this not also digital? Yes, it is computer controlled. Okay, it is computer controlled, but this one makes use of rollers, unlike the digital. The digital is one touch. Are we okay? Any question on this particular one? So we'll move on. We'll be watching videos anyway, and then I'll explain more or into details. Should we continue? Then we have the heat transfer printing. The heat transfer printing. Has anybody experienced this before, using this before?
Yes. We
Okay.
use it for justice.
Yes. Yeah.
And printing.
Yeah. So also known as thermal printing, thermal transfer printing, and thermal wax transfer. It's a method of printing that allows you to print a design onto a piece of clothing or an object. Heat transfer printing uses the process of heat to transfer an image created in wax to an object or garment. So the image is created in wax. Normally, it has a rubber covering on top of it. So you place it on the. This is a t-shirt, so let's use that example. So you place it on the t-shirt, you wear the t-shirt for the heat transfer machine, and then you place your motif on the part you want to print. Well, this is a t-shirt, so on the part of the t-shirt that you want to print. However, you have to make sure that your motif is facing upwards, the way you want it to show on the garment. And then you apply or press. Once you are done, the top part, you release it onto the work, and then it will exert pressure on the work and then the fabric and release heat, and then transfer the design from that plastic rubber-like tissue onto the shirt. And you remember some time ago, there were these chewing gums we used to buy. When you buy the chewing gums, we have designs on it on a rubber. That's just a perfect example of that. And we will place it on our skins as kids and then press, press, press. But this one not with heat, just with the pressure. And then you remove it, and then you have something like a tattoo. So there you have something like a tattoo. Okay? Okay. So you have something like a tattoo. Are we okay? Right. So it is just almost the same process, just that with this one, heat is applied. Okay. Then stencil printing. Stencil printing. By now, we all know what stencil is. All right? Who doesn't know stencil? So your designs are transferred onto a plane or a surface, a paper, or even transparency. You know transparency. You know transparency. Yes. So transferred onto transparency, and then you cut out the design. When you cut out the design, you can use a foam, lay your stencil on the fabric or whatever surface you want to print on, and then you dab your foam into the print, and then you print out your design. Or you use a plain roller. If you check my first lesson, I showed a picture of a roller, a plain one. You can use a plain roller, spread your color on one side, and then just roll your roller over the stencil to distribute the colors, and then you have your design printed on the fabric. Okay, we will be doing stencil also in class, actually. Then this is stencil. This person is actually using roller, so it's good. I spoke about roller. So this is another roller. Just what the painters use, the small one. There are different types of rulers too. So this is another type as well that you can use. So this is an example of stenciling as we can see. So you can make your stenciling as big as however you want it to be. I'm sure this even will be faster than block printing. Yes. So these are some of the videos that we have to watch. Eh, Screen printing. It should be, yeah, shooting. Yes, this is screen shooting. We brought screen shooting because I made mention that we aren't going to shoot screens here or in this lesson. We will develop all our designs and everything, but the shooting itself will be done somewhere else, and then we can continue with the printing over here. But we will design everything. The only thing is transferring the design onto the screen. That is what will go out. Okay, so for that reason, I brought a screen shooting video. So whilst the video plays, I'll be explaining what is happening in between the videos for you. Are we okay? Yes, so we'll watch the digital printing, block printing, roller printing, heat transfer printing, stencil printing. The videos are not very long. They are short. So don't worry about that. It is only the screen shooting that is a bit lengthy, but let's see how we go about that. However, I will be placing all these links under the video. So if you play the video, you can go to the description and then have the links, and then you can copy it and then play them over again for revision later on. Okay. All right. So in the absence of that, for this theory session, we have ended our lesson for today. Okay, for the theory part. So see you in our next class.